Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Diane, and I want to say a big hello to all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Today we're going to be making chili beefaroni. Okay, so let's look at those ingredients. Our ingredients for today that we're going to need is you're going to need an onion, a red pepper, a can of tomato paste. We have our butcherbox ground beef, salt and pepper. I have some sharp white cheddar. I have a can of pinto beans. That's a large can, 29 ounce. I have the remainder of my half a jar of marinara sauce that I use for my stuffed peppers. I have a can of crushed tomatoes. I have a can of tomato sauce, some elbow macaroni, and also I have some mozzarella, and of course my cassoulet pressure cooker. The next step is we're going to brown the ground beef. Okay, and as you can see, the ground beef is done. Lift it out, and then I'm going to drain it. We're going to continue on. Okay, so I have taken my ground beef out and I'm draining it. Meanwhile, I'm going to put in just a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon. And then we're going to pour in our chopped peppers and onions together. And we're going to do a slight saute on them. You don't have to do these separately because we're going to be pressure cooking everything all together. So we're going to let these go and get a little soft and a little tender. We're going to add our ground beef back in. This is a one pot wonder. You're going to do everything in this one pot. Okay. So just let it saute. Alrighty, that looks good. That's where you want it. Then you're going to pour your ground beef back in. And use your spatula so you can get it all out. It's drained. You're going to give it a good stirring. I love this because I can turn it around and get everything in here. Going to soften up and cook the rest of the way. So you don't have to worry about having them completely sauteed. The next step is we're going to stir in our chili seasoning. We want that to be on the ground beef. So that's why we stir that in now. So we want it to flavor our ground beef really well. Alright, now we're going to go in with a cup and a half of water. Alright. Very good. Now we got our water in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a cup and a half of macaroni noodles. And we're going to spread them all out nice and neatly in here. And we're going to put our tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, and sauce on top and not stir it. So at this point, we're not going to stir anymore. Okay, next we're going to go in with our pinto beans. And we have a large 29 ounce can of pinto beans. And we're going to put them in along with the juice. Don't forget the juice. You can put all of that in there. And just sort of smooth it out. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the rest of our marinara sauce that we had left. It's about a half a jar, a little bit over half a jar. And again, we're not going to stir this up because what happens is when you put tomatoes and tomato sauce on the bottom of your either Instapot or this cassoulet, it'll stick. So we don't want that to happen. So that's why the tomato stuff is saved for the very end. Alright, next we're going to put in our crushed tomato. and just spread it out. Don't stir it up. And then lastly, we're going to put in our can of tomato paste. Okay, you're going to put the whole can in there. All right, very good. Okay, then we're going to add our salt and our pepper. Again, we're not stirring, so we're just adding this. We're going to stir it all up at the end when it finishes cooking. But for now, we want it to pressure cook with the water on the bottom. And you can add more liquid. If you think that you don't have enough liquid, you can add more water to it, a little bit at a time. Then lastly, we're going to stir in our tomato sauce. I'm only going to put in a little bit of this because I had the marinara sauce. Normally you would use the whole can, but because I got the marinara sauce in there, I'm only going to use half of it. But this is going to thicken up when we put the cheese in it at the end. So now we're going to close the lid on it. All right, so we're going to let it cook for 15 minutes. And I've got my timer set. Then after that, we're going to do a quick release. We're going to stir it. And then we're going to add our mozzarella cheese. And we're going to add a half a package of sharp cheddar cheese. I just happen to have the white sharp cheddar cheese for today. But you can add whichever one you want to. Okay, so we did a quick release. We've opened it. I did a deep stir down in there. At this point, if you need to taste it, you need to add some salt and pepper, you go ahead and do that. I'm going to top it off with a little chili powder, maybe about 1 to 2 tablespoons, and stir that in real good. Salt and pepper, you go ahead and you do that. And now we're going to put in our half a block or half a bag of cheddar cheese. You can use yellow or you can use white or whatever you have on hand. Pepper jack would be fine as well. And then we're going to stir in, this is the remainder of the mozzarella cheese that I used to make pizza one day this month already. And we're going to stir all of that in. Then when you get that stirred in really well, then you're going to let it set. Close the lid back. It's not going to be cooking, but you're going to let it set. And the rest of the noodles will soften up. Okay, YouTube family, here it is. I've taken it out and put a little Parmesan cheese on top of it. You can put mozzarella cheese on top or no cheese on top. Whatever you want. That's up to you. So again, at the end, if you decide you want to add a little chili powder to it or whatever you want to mix into it, you go ahead and do it. But everything is done. It's a one-pot wonder. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Have a great day and be blessed.